What's up guys, Meredith with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we are checking out the B&M locking transmission dipstick fitting all 2010 and newer F-150s. Now this is a perfect solution to allowing you to check your transmission fluid very easily and at any time, considering that this is going to mount right in the engine bay, being super accessible and hassle-free. Now this design will offer a huge improvement compared to the factory setup, so if you tow or haul a lot with your F-150 and want to save yourself the time and money, especially when it comes to the life of your transmission, this is going to be right up your alley. Now, if you regularly tow or haul with your truck, especially heavier loads, you probably know how much stress it puts on the transmission, so making sure that you have an adequate amount of fluid in there is crucial. The problem is, the factory system is not ideal at all. It's not going to allow you to check the fluid levels easily with a small dipstick mounted right on the side of the transmission, making you take your truck in for service or having to crawl under to check. Now, this will mount in place of that current dipstick, extend all the way up into the engine bay, and secure to the firewall in an easily accessible location, so you can easily pull out the dipstick and check your fluid levels. As you can see here, this is going to have a long construction, and the fill tube will have a braided stainless steel construction and will be incredibly tough to withstand the hot temps and harshness of the engine bay while keeping its integrity over time, especially mounted right next to the cat. Now, the fittings and the mount will all have a billet 6061 aluminum construction with a black anodized coating to prevent any corrosion. The cap at the top here will also have a knurled edge to make sure that unscrewing it is easier, especially if you have any oil on your hands. And when you take the stick out to check, it will have a pre-stamped transmission fluid level indicator, making it easy to read. Now, this is also going to come with everything that you need out of the kit in order to install it. This will come in at about $300, and in my opinion is a small price to pay to keep everything in order compared to a new transmission. Now, there are not many like this choice available, so I think for a mod that will make your life easy, especially if you're doing a lot with your truck that can put a lot of extra stress and need onto the transmission, this is definitely well worth the price, and it has a quality build to back it up. Install here is going to be a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. I would recommend a little bit of mechanical experience, and it's probably going to take you about an hour or so to get the job done. Now, at this point, we can head over to our shop and check out a detailed breakdown on our F-150. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
For this install, you will need an impact or a drill, a flex head ratchet, 19mm socket, Phillips head bit, 22mm wrench, some angle cutters, and not included with your kit but can be helpful is a zip tie. Also, jack and jack stands. What's up guys, today we're going to be installing a locking transmission dipstick into our F-150, so let's get started. So now one thing to note here for this install is you're going to need to basically set your transmission fluid level onto the new dipstick the same as it is coming off the factory one. So in order to do this, you want to have the vehicle running for a good while, get the trans fluid nice and hot, and then go ahead and pull your factory unit out and go ahead and mark where your fluid level is and transfer that basically over to the new dipstick to make sure the levels match from your factory one to the new one. Now, for demonstration purposes, we don't have our vehicle warm. We're going to show you how to install it. But once again, we'll go over that process kind of as we go through this install, just to keep you up to date on that. So now what we're going to do first is come into our engine bay. We're going to grab our new dipstick, and what we're going to do is send it behind the engine on the passenger side, so it's going to line up with our factory dipstick location. So we're just going to send that back here for now. Make sure it goes all the way through. And we're going to use a zip tie. Now you can use a zip tie, a piece of string, or tape, whatever you have on hand to just kind of hold this upper portion in place while we get the bottom portion situated when we go underneath the truck for that. Go ahead and just zip tie this up. Loosely, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. So now, as you can see, we're under the truck and we've got our dipstick pretty much right where we want it. Our factory stubby dipstick is right here. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that out. Now, mind you, if you're doing this at home and you have run your truck to make sure the transmission fluid is warm, these cats will be extremely hot. So you need to use caution and don't bang your arm on them. You will get burned. So what we're gonna do is grab a 19 mil socket on a flex head ratchet like such. Go ahead and pop that factory dipstick off. Now you do want to have a bucket or a pan on hand underneath the truck because you may get trans fluid a little bit coming out when we remove this. Now we've got that loose, we'll go ahead, take that out. Cap here. Followed by our factory stubby dipstick. And this is gonna be your factory stubby dipstick that's underneath your cap nut here. So we'll go ahead and take both of those out. Now here's the part where you would wanna have your truck hot and running to check your proper trans fluid level. And then you would line that up bottom to bottom with your new dipstick. Make sure it's within the hash marks on your new dipstick as well, just to double check your fluid level and make sure that that's gonna sit at the same point. So now we're gonna take our new end of our dipstick tube here, get that up into position, make sure our dipstick goes into our transmission. Now we're gonna go ahead and thread our insert into our dipstick hole here. Now this may be a bit of a tedious task, and again, you're gonna be around a lot of hot components, so just take your time, be careful. Now we're gonna go ahead and tighten this down fully with our 22 millimeter wrench. Now this is pretty tight quarters here. Again, it's all exercise of patience. Now once you have that tightened down, we'll go back up top and secure our top end of our dipstick tube. So now we're back up under the hood, so we're gonna go ahead and cut that zip tie off with our angle cutters here. What we're gonna do is find our mounting spot for our bracket here. Now we're just gonna go ahead and get it about right here. You want some place where you can still access the top, because if you put it right here, obviously it's not going to be too good. But if we go down here, we're just going to use the two provided self-tapping screws and a Phillips head bit on our impact to go ahead and run these in real quick. We'll get one screw ready for our bracket. Make sure you don't drop them. Now that we've got our first one in, we'll go ahead and get our second screw in. Now you want to be very careful not to drop your screws down into your engine galley, because it's going to be a real pain to get them back out. Now once you get this in, you want to double check that your dipstick comes out smooth and doesn't bind anywhere going along your tube. So go ahead and unscrew this. Now ours is pretty high up here, but it will still come out. And as you can see, it doesn't bind at all. Right back in. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our B&M locking transmission dipstick for your 10 to current F-150. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.